Hey everyone, it's that time of the week to go over the recap of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few altcoins. And today's focus is actually going to be on those shitcoins that are trending. So we'll take a look at HIFI, HIFI, TRB, WLD, and we're actually going to be trying to catch the tops of these. Now, just a forewarning, these are very liquid coins. Okay, so TA means nothing on coins that are based purely off short squeezes and high negative funding. I've already caught the top of TRB twice for a short amount of time, but I'll try to give setups for those. Just again, be cautious that these might not work, and if so, they should be taken quickly on profits. So before we start, I just want to announce that I'm going to start a competition with MEXC, and if you sign up with my referral, okay, you get up to $1,000 beginning reward, but also you'll be automatically registered. So when my trading competition starts, either at the beginning or at the end of this month or beginning of next month, it's going to just be a trading competition. And first, second, third place get a prize. If these are successful, they will continue to be happening each month with prizes increasing. Okay, so again, MEXC referral code Arschmeister, or if you just click in the link below. If you enjoy my content, I would appreciate you guys supporting me by using my link. All right, so let's get out of here and let's take a look at Bitcoin. Okay, so the short setup that I have for Bitcoin is actually going to be this resistance zone. And the reason I chose this is because this was previously support once we flipped it, okay, and then we lost it and we rejected from it. And over here we actually put in a deviation, and the top zone was also resistance here, right? We broke down, we retested it and broke down below it. Adding extra confluence for this short, okay, and again, we're going to start at 27K. We'll DCA around 27.4, okay, with stops around 28.140, okay. Now, extra confluence for this short, we'll just draw the downtrend, and we'll add some, one sec. We'll add the 200 EMA. Okay, so we have the 200 EMA along with the downtrend, along with the horizontal resistance, giving me enough confluence to take this short. And I'm looking for 23.3K. Okay, and I think we're getting to a point where the bottom might be coming in. If we trade below 25. 5, okay, or basically around 25.5 down below 25K. All right, if we trade below 25K and we turn this into resistance, then I can put in an argument that we will see this order block, okay, and that is around 22 down to 20K. So we'll take it level by level, right? We're still holding the support, so we're going to trade this range until broken. And then if this loses, then we'll look to for a short down to this region here. But first, I'm looking for rejection here and then down to 23.3K. Okay, so this is why I'm taking this short again. Right, we have resistance here, along with the 200 EMA confluence. We have not been able to flip that. So look, after we flip this into support, okay, so notice how I can go back. Once we flip this to support, we continued range higher, right? And then we got to a point where we got to the 200 EMA. We briefly bounced for a little bit, but then we lost it, okay? And once we closed below and turned it into resistance, we closed below, rejected from it. This continued to be the trend until we reclaimed it, went higher, right? Lost it, downtrend, briefly reclaimed it, right? And then we reclaimed it back in February, continued that higher back, and then reclaimed it in March. Okay, bounced from it in June, lost it, retested it, deviated. We're getting to another point. All right, so this 200 EMA, unless we reclaim it, I'm looking to short, and that's going to be my area, right? I have the confluences that I spoke about, and I'm just taking that to another trend line touch around 23.3K. Okay, so that's why I'm taking the short here. Low time frame. Looks like we're kind of losing momentum, right? We draw this small little trend line here. Okay, so again, more confluence, small little wedge happening here. Not really a rising wedge, I'm just drawing trend lines out my ass. We go up here, reject from here as well, and then drop down. Otherwise, if this loses the trend line, okay, we take a short with our stops above the wick, right? So again, we're going to take it level by level. If this does dump, I expect it to possibly bounce around 26K down to 25.8. Why here? This was briefly resistance. Okay, we went up, flipped it to support here. So if we drop down below, we can possibly take maybe a little bit lower with our stop. 2% stop back to the upper trend line slash EMA. Okay, so as we can see here, this 400 EMA, or sorry, this 4-hour 200 EMA has again been proven to show resistance. We have not flipped it to support yet, hence we are just projecting, and the daily has not been touched yet. Okay, so that's my reasoning for the short. That's the possible long setup. Next coin we'll take a look at is ETH. I gave 3 setups for ETH. I wish I had kept my original short at 1647. It's okay, it happens. I tried to readjust for it. We didn't get enough bump to go that high, but I gave 3 possible entries, okay, or 3 possible setups, I should say. I was waiting for the 4-hour flip to happen. Here's the 4-hour range for ETH. Okay, range high, range low, deviation, again bounce from range low, deviation. I was looking for this long reclaim to happen, which we actually got over here, so that triggered my long for me, and we got a nice 2% move. All right, now if you missed that, you're looking for the next support touch, which again happened at the same exact place. Yes, we had the wick below. The wick below also put in a little swing failure. We cleared these lows. Okay, and then again we went up 2%. So I took profits. I got stopped out break even. I'm not looking to re-enter yet, but if we do continue to go higher, I'm looking to short. Did I just remove that? No. I'm looking to short. Actually, I did remove it. Here. Okay, so 1664. And then I have my stops around 1690. Okay, so again, this was resistance. We rejected from it. I'm looking for another touch. Stops are very tight, 1%, and then trying to scalp that back to range low. Otherwise, if we do continue to rip up, stop us out, then I'd be looking to short range highs. Okay, it would be the second touch of range highs. We still have not flipped it to support, so that's the reasoning for my second short, and stop loss will be above this wick here. All these plays given in the Discord as well as my Twitter, right? But the profits and everything, the details of these plays are given in the Discord alone. Last but not least, the next coin I want to take a look at, Sol. On the 4-hour, for those that were in my class, I gave you guys the supply zone. Okay, this was the short setup that was given on in stream in class. Okay, it filled perfectly. Supply zone 50% filled, and we got a nice 3% move down. Okay, so profits have been taken. Stop's been moved to break even. Now let's take a look at this on a higher time frame really quickly. All right. So we have this falling wedge that we briefly broke out of. Okay. Notice how this resistance line is very prominent. I even bolded it for us. Okay. We have not been able to flip this yet. We did break out, flip, right? We held until we lost it, briefly flipped, and then we just bounced, and then we just rejected from it. Okay, so although we are in a falling wedge with a target of like around $23, $24, two possible setups to take once it comes. We either continue to make another lower high and make more lower lows, but notice how this trend line has been intact. I'm going to go to a different chart really quickly. And I know this is a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo, but we bounced right from the 618 fib. Okay, it was also trend line confluence. Now this is a perp chart. The one before was a spot chart, so it looks a little bit different. Okay, so the two plays that I'm looking for is this daily order block. All right, so entry around 1670-ish, and then stop loss below 1558. Okay, and then we just take profits. This would be hopefully a wick down here, and then we reclaim this trend line. But if we do bounce from this order block, then probably I'd be looking for something like this to take profit, move my stop loss to break even. Okay, and then if this continues to make more of a dump, then we're going to play this demand zone here around $13, right? Now these could take a while to play out, but if we go on a lower time frame, if my play or if this resistance gets flipped to support, I am looking to play this supply zone here at $20.50. So the setup would look something like this. Okay. So yeah, maybe a little bit higher. Okay. So we have an entry around 2058. Okay, our DCA comes around 2103. But we've all seen Solana and what it could do once it goes on a ripper. It just continues to rip, right? From here, it ripped from 1870 to 19 in a quick 4-hour candle. So I'm looking to take this with a 2/3 of normal risk. And then hopefully send it lower. I don't think the bottom is in for Sol. I'm looking for anywhere between, actually, Sol spot chart, gave this to the Discord. These are the areas that I'm looking for. Maybe I deleted it. Never mind. Basically, $15 and below. So stack your bids from $15 down to 12. Okay, and if it goes below 12, anywhere down to 7, that is a must buy. I do think from this current price, I think Sol can at least 6 to 10x, and I think that's good, returns for it. So the risk to reward is nice for me. So 15 down to 12 is definitely a must buy. Now let's take a look at the shitcoins. Okay, so the first coin, I don't know why I'm doing this, but we'll take a look at HIFI. Alright, but I do want to change this into the spot so we can see one thing that's very important, and that is funding fee. Whoops. One sec. Alright. So before I start, okay, take a look at the spot price versus the perp price. Alright, spot price is higher than the perp price, which leads us to seeing that high negative funding fee. Okay, so when this happens, shorts are paying longs for their positions. So if you are in a short position with a high funding fee, whatever coin it may be, it's up to you whether you want to close it or not. But if it's a high negative funding fee, you're going to pay a shit ton of money, okay, at the end of that countdown. So as long as this remains higher than the perp, expect to continue to see this rise. It might not be much because this is just a cartel manipulated coin, but let's take a look at this on MEXC really quickly, and I'm gonna go on the hour chart. Okay, so first, actually, let's plot out this demand zone. If this continues to die, this is where I expect it to bounce again. So this demand zone, which might get front ran by those wicks, but everyone's trying to play those wicks. If this comes here, it could be a possible long, but again, go in with very, very small amounts because first of all, it's a white stop. Second of all, it's a very liquid coin. A 1 minute candle can liquidate you if you don't have proper risk management, right? Now, if we go back on the 15-minute really quickly, and so the 1 hour, right? We have the impulse ups, like right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So this should slowly, in my opinion, reverse from here. Could actually perfectly bounce from this demand zone. If it doesn't bounce from here, so this 1 hour actually put in a swing failure, right? So this should reverse up. Now, trying to time this short is going to be very risky, okay? Because again, in a 1 minute candle, this could just take off or just die, right? So this 1 hour candle went up like 20 cents, and then it just died, right? These 1 hour candles are like 20 cents each, okay? So if we're trying to short this, with these coins, you want to take the funding fee into consideration. If this continues to stay maxed, it could just continue ripping. Okay. If we take a look at this chart and Sol in just a moment, we see that the chart is pretty similar. Okay, they're going to keep pushing this until funding fee goes down. Right. So for HIFI, I would possibly take this short. It's going to be risky, and this could change by the time I'm making the video, so I can't really update, and this is something that you guys will have to take a look. If the funding fee continues to stay max negative, or the exchanges increase to -3, it's just going to make new highs, right? So this could be a possible short entry. Again, risk is very high. Use less than 0.5 to 1% of your portfolio. But this is a place for it to bounce. If this bounces, it should be either here, but if low time frame, it should be something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets stopped out by the time this video is over, but this is where it should bounce. Okay. And if we're drawing fibs here, let me take a look at something. So the golden pocket is actually going to be from 2.18 to 2.23. It could reject from there. Okay, so if this goes higher, it should reject from here, come back down, and then go higher to make another lower high. Okay, once this one's broken, it's going to take a lower high from here. So keep that in mind, that another possible short entry would come from here if this continues to go higher. Okay. Again, my TA with these coins are not going to be very strong because they're not based off levels. This is just short squeeze. We've all seen TRB and how it doesn't although it rejects from its key levels, this is just purely manipulated. Okay, Bybit touched basically double top and then dumped. I'm going to bring up the MEXC chart really quickly too, because the prices are different on the exchanges. Okay, notice how MEXC is 38.2 and Bybit is 39.2. All right, so TRB on MEXC. Okay, so we've actually had the impulses up. Okay, we rejected right from the top as well, 46.5, and then just died. These were fibs that I drew from a while ago. But also take a look at here is we've actually maintained making another lower a higher low. Okay, is this going to bounce from this fib right now and then continue to make another higher high? I don't know, but as long as the funding fee is max, and I think they've increased it to -3, right? This should keep going higher until that dies, right? And if we take a look at the spot chart, actually, that should lead as well. There we go, 40, 38, this. So as long as spot is leading, if you're shorting anything that's illiquid as this and the other ones, I'd be very careful, okay? So if we're taking a short, so here's the MEXC chart. It actually did a swing failure and then just dumped, right? Candle closed at 5. This is the new candle. Okay, but we take a look at the spot chart. The spot chart still has a while to go. Okay, so if we're drawing fibs on the daily, we are at the daily resistance that we actually flipped to support here. Rejected, rejected. But if the spot chart flips 43.48, the next resistance, fib-wise, isn't coming until 0.382, but we could see a rejection at 56, which is resistance. And I think that's the next fib. Never mind. The 1.68 is the fib that I have. I know you can have the other ones, but it comes around 70. Okay, so if this continues to rip and flips this resistance into support around 43.5, the next level is going to be at 56 and then 66. Okay, so again, as long as this is positive and spot is leading over perps, just be careful shorting it. I just stay away from this personally, because once this is over, you're going to have the Eiffel Tower forming. Okay, just a huge dump. We have demand zone here on the daily, but these are not coins that I want to trade. I'm just giving setups because they have the highest and most volume on the exchanges. All right, here's a Darth Maul candle, possible reversal coming. Because I'm using MEXC, higher high, lower low. We've just continued to make lower lows and lower highs on the lower time frame. Possible reversal. This could actually be putting in a possible wedge in play. So if this continues to go lower, next touch comes around 33. Right, bounce from there maybe. We have this demand zone. What is this? Yep, demand zone here. Now again, this may change quickly, but as long as spot price is leading and funding is negative, that's where I expect the bounce. This zone here, tight stop, and then you target the top of the trend line. Okay, as soon as funding goes south and spot price becomes, or spot price comes down to catch up with the perp price, then you could see this huge dump. Okay, so if you're trading this again, be very careful. Shorts, take out the highs here, swing failure, then that's your trigger. stops above the wick that's going to be created. You could take a low time frame short if you want, around 44.5 to around 45.3, and stop loss above the wick. If you get stopped on that one, then you play the swing failure option. Okay. Otherwise, again, mentioned it, if this flips 43.5 into support, we're going to 56. Okay. And last but not least, WorldCoin. I don't know why these shitcoins just started randomly pumping. Okay, but it's at a very crucial point right now. Okay, it was previously support, bounced from it, lost it, rejected, rejected, and this is possibly going to be a retest point. So if it bounces, it has to be from here. Okay, because again, if we lose it like we did here and turn into resistance, then we're just going to continue to make new lows. Okay, so if it bounces from here, stop loss placement around 1.27. Okay, and I think this one also spot is leading. Nope, see how this is the same? So the funding fee shouldn't be too high and volume should dry out on this one. Okay, but if it bounces, it has to be from here. This 4 hour is very ugly. This daily, possibly putting in a bearish engulfing candle if this closes below. Okay, so it's going to be very risky. I'd stay away from this coin, but a lot of people have been requesting it, and again, it's possibly the most one of the top most volume traded coins of the day. So if it bounces, it's from here. Stop loss would be like around 1.27 and target 1.5 again. Okay, shorting it. Let me draw fibs on a higher time frame really quickly, and I want to see something. Yeah, if you had drawn that fib, it rejected right perfectly from 1.72. Okay, lower time frame. Yeah, perfectly from the 1.6. Okay. Okay, two areas that we could possibly short it. The golden pocket. Okay, stop loss around these highs if we short here. Or we take a scalp short at this bearish order block. Tights, stops are going to be tight. So entry around 1.49 and stops around 1.54. Again, if this runs, it's going to run hard. Okay, so you know, from when I said this could bounce from here, we're already up almost 2 pennies. All right, so this would be your setup. The risk to reward is 1.5, so not great, but again, just potential setups for when people want to trade these coins. Okay, so again, entry would be this golden pocket. I wouldn't DCA on these coins. If you DCA, don't DCA so close. And then stop loss above these wicks. So that's it. That's what I'm looking for. I'm more interested in what Bitcoin's going to do. Another important thing to note, for those that are in my class, you know what this means, but look, Bitcoin volatility, getting to lows again. Once we got to these lows, right, we had a huge movement. We're getting there again. So we have a big move coming in the market. Let me just remove this trash EMA. We have a big move coming in the market, and it's going to happen within the next 72 to 96 hours, so 3 to 4 days. Most likely, I think it comes around Tuesday or Wednesday, but we could see some volatility being Sunday tomorrow, some scam pumps, and then, as I mentioned, for Bitcoin, if we get to that 27K level, I'm going to fade it, right? And that is it for this session. So thanks, everyone.